And I can't get a job at 50.
Yeah, they want us to be Walmart.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we are talking about looking for a job at 45. You know how crazy the job market is at this moment, and if you're older, it's very hard for you to get a job. So let's talk about it. I put the stages together so that you watch. I'll be back to share my 2 cents.
And I can't get a job at 50.
Yeah, they want us to be Walmart greeters. Um, I've given up trying to find a job now in my 50s because I've been told crap like I'm overqualified. I've been told we're going to go another way. Um, I've been told that one time, uh, one time I decided they were doing something that was really super simple and they wanted to hire somebody to do the thing, and I'm like, well, all you have to do is X and Y. And the IT guy on the call was like, oh, really? I'm like, yep. And that's why I screwed myself and anybody else out of that job, because it was. But so it's like, they they companies, they want to pay the lowest price possible, and when you're in your 50s, you want a higher price. You've worked yourself up to be what you are, and they don't want to pay that. And now with AI, they really don't want to pay it. They would rather hire somebody who knows very little, throw some AI at them, and then they can be mediocre at it. And in fact, mediocre, that's all they really want anyway. They don't need to be better. So yeah, I'm not going to be a freaking Walmart greeter. Anyway, so that's why I decided to write my own software, get some apps in the App Store, and do that kind of stuff. And it's hard. And it's hard. And so I'm pulling the self employment stuff instead of dealing with the stupid companies because screw them. So in my head, I work for Apple. That's my job. I don't officially work for Apple, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, all right, what I need to do is get my apps to work in the Apple ecosystem as best as possible, and to be integrated as best as possible so that I can sell them, and then Apple will maybe look at them and I'll get rewarded and somehow make $1 million. Yeah, yeah, that's the goal.
Has been getting laid off and he is now unemployed and collecting unemployment. He's been applying for jobs for months because we knew that a layoff was coming. He's been very proactive and he's been looking for a job. The problem is he hasn't been able to find a job that will pay him what he's worth, what he was making, or above. My advice to him was, if you can't find a full-time job making at least what you were making before or above, then maybe look for 2 part-time jobs, and maybe you might even exceed what you were making if you find 2 part-time jobs. He is collecting unemployment and he gets what they call sub pay, so he can take a little bit of time in finding what is going to work best for him. The exciting news is he did get an interview for a part-time job. He had a phone interview, and then he had a virtual interview, and now he's going in for a third in-person interview. And let me just say this, the process that employers are making people go through to get a job these days is just mind-blowing to me. The employer's not even offering benefits, the pay is low, and it's part-time. They make you go through 3 interviews. It's just crazy to me. They're a good company to work for in our area, and they do have benefits and offer benefits to full-time employees. Anyway, so that's where we're at. He is still unemployed. He's collecting unemployment and he gets sub pay. So that's something. I'm going to keep you guys updated on how the third interview goes. He has an in-person third interview coming up.
Getting ready for a job interview. I'm 50. This is embarrassing. This is my third job interview this month. If I get the job, I'll be happy. If I don't get the job, I'll be equally as happy. If I get the job, I'll be sad. If I don't get the job, I'll be equally as sad. Getting a job at 50 is ghetto.
I'm 57, I've been laid off, and here's what I've learned about applying for new jobs. Job hunting after 50 is not for the faint of heart. At first, I felt invisible, right? Nobody's seeing me, nobody's looking at my profile, no action whatsoever. But then I realized that my experience was my biggest asset. And the niche experience I had was important to bring to the front. So my advice to you over 50 looking for a job is to think back to very specific, unique things that you've worked on in your career and bring those to the front. Make sure that employers see that you have that kind of experience.
Is expanding. We've been doing interviews, and this afternoon this guy comes in. Suspenders, a tie, hunched over, 71 years old. Comes into my office, sits down, hands me a whole portfolio. He is selling himself in this portfolio. He's got his LinkedIn, he's got his resume, he's put a whole graph with data showing how he's been able to grow a network on social media and how the skills of the industry he was in for 30 years are transferable into any industry. And this guy's 71 years old. He retired originally in 2008, and now he has run out of money and he's out looking for a job. And you know what? I was so heartbroken sitting across this conference table, just hearing this guy, all the experience, everything that he did, all the hard work. And here he is at 71 years old, trying to find a job. And I do this in my firm. We teach people how to protect their retirement and have guaranteed streams of income. But there wasn't a Rachel 30, 40 years ago sitting across the table educating him. And this is happening to people every single day, and it's going to keep happening to middle class America. And it's only because of one reason: financial literacy. Middle class America has no idea what to do with their money. You have to get educated, because by the time you realize how bad these money mistakes are hurting you, it's almost too late.
I've done one job application, and that has taken me an hour, because I had to rewrite my cover letter for the role. They wanted a portfolio or video of the brand campaign that I'm most proud of, so I edited my portfolio to reflect that. It's just, and that's just the initial. I probably won't even hear back. That's an hour of my time, an hour of my life, and I will not hear anything back. It is so draining doing these applications and not hearing anything back or getting aired by people. I got an email back from a company this morning after probably a month and a half of my initial interview. I thought it went really well. I sent them 3 follow-up emails over the space of 2 weeks, never heard anything back, and I was like, okay, right, fine, they've just aired me. And then I got an email last night being like, so sorry for the poor communication. We've actually made a hire for this role. We thought you would be a really good fit for the team, but we've decided to go with somebody with more experience. Shock, that's what they always say. But would love to keep you on file if anything comes up. And I'm just like, you couldn't have told me that. What is wrong? I understand that people are busy, people have busy lives, but come on, it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
I was just in Starbucks, and it's just crazy to me now that I go, be out or whatever, and I'm just starting to see a lot of senior citizens, retirees, right, in these jobs. Like the barista that was making my drink, she had to be in her 70s. Anyway, she had messed up. Because, I be ordering the drink and you got to do this, you got to do that, whatever. Not too crazy. But she messed up or whatever. And the younger guy, there was just 2 of them. So it was a younger guy that was at the register. And then it was the barista, older woman. So when I was like, oh, they forgot to add, I'd like to get a little bit of extra syrup, and then they forgot to add it, which everybody does that. When I order my lavender drink, I always add 2 extra pumps, and for some reason they take out the simple syrup and they just add the 2 vanilla pumps, and it's like, no, I want the simple syrup and 2 extra vanilla pumps. Anyway, so she forgot that, which is normal. Like, I go to different Starbucks, they always forget it. So the guy, he was like correcting her, and I was like, oh yeah, I must have missed the extra syrup in it because it wasn't sweet. So he was like showing her like where he marked it and all that. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. So I felt so horrible, and I'm like, oh no, it's okay. You can just put the syrup in the drink you made. You don't have to make it over. So he was like, no, we're making it over because it's not gonna blend right or whatever. She was like, no, I'll make it. But she had to been in her 70s, and the YTs, they be looking a little older than what their real age. But I don't know. I'm thinking she like in her 70s. She was a retiree. I don't care. She was a retiree. But my point is that that's sad, because those jobs are supposed to be for the, I know this thing cuts off. So where I was at, those jobs are really supposed to be for like, the youth, younger folks, just getting into the workforce or whatever. But my point I'm making is that goes to show you that all these older senior citizens have to go back out and get a job. Like, I can't imagine my mom would be 77. I cannot imagine her being a barista at Starbucks, because she has to find or has to have extra money to live. That's my point here. It's like, I felt so horrible. Like, why does she, what? Like, it's just stuff. I just pay attention to stuff like that, and it bothers me. Seeing, like, when I see old people out and they struggling, they have bags in their hand, it breaks my heart. It just, because I'm like, that could be my mom. Luckily, she has a person that attends to her and does her shopping and all that stuff. But it just bothers me. I don't know. That was just something I observed today, that I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, all these older people that I know, and I know people retire and then they go back and they work. But 9 out of 10 times, it's not because they want to keep themselves active working. There's other things you can do to keep yourself active and on the go, instead of going to get a second job. They're getting a second job to supplement their income because the retirement is not enough, or they need more money to live. That's the point. That's the point here. Like, you're not going to sit there and tell me a 70-something-year-old woman wants to go work at Starbucks just for the fun of it. I doubt it. And if you do, I'm pretty sure there are cases that they do, but I doubt it. Not here in America. That lady's working because she needs the money, because she can't afford to live probably with. I'm just unhappy. It just bothers me. I don't know. That was just something I observed today, that I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, all these older people that I know, and I know people retire and then they go back and they work. But 9 out of 10 times, it's not because they want to keep themselves active working. There's other things you can do to keep yourself active and on the go, instead of going to get a second job. They're getting a second job to supplement their income because the retirement is not enough, or they need more money to live. That's the point. That's the point here. Like, you're not going to sit there and tell me a 70-something-year-old woman wants to go work at Starbucks just for the fun of it. I doubt it. And if you do, I'm pretty sure there are cases that they do, but I doubt it. Not here in America. That lady's working because she needs the money, because she can't afford to live probably with. I'm just unhappy.
That's a video, guys. I'm just here also to share my 2 cents, like what I think about today's video about the job search, when you're 45 plus. So let's get into it, guys. Job hunting at this age is not just the same as when you're 25 or 30. The world has changed, the job market has changed, and the hiring managers have changed too. What no one tells you is that as soon as you hit 45, you are silently placed in a category where you're just seen as too experienced, too expensive, or just too old. Okay, you start hearing phrases like culture feed, we went into different direction, or you have overqualified, which are often just polite ways of saying you're not what you're looking for anymore. And that's things, especially after spending 20 or 30 years building a career, raising a family, and doing everything society told you to do. Another truth is you now have to prove that you are up to date. This means the pressure to learn new systems, software, trends, and platform just to be seen as relevant. Job application now feels like trying to solve a puzzle all blindfolded. You're tweaking your resume, hiding the graduation, cutting out your first 10 years of experience just to look two seasons. You might find yourself applying for dozens of jobs a week and barely hearing back. And when you get interviews, the people sitting across from you might be 15 or 20 years young, and you're trying not to feel awkward about it. You might know more than them, but you're forced to sell yourself like you're starting from zero. What people also don't tell you is this stage affect your self-worth. After a few months, without responses, you start asking yourself questions like, am I too late to change careers? Or was I foolish to start my last job too long? That internal voice get louder. They shame, frustration, and confusion. You know you have skills, you know you are dependable, you have done so much with your life, but now it feels like none of it matters. It's like you're being pushed for aging. It's like the world is telling you that after 45 you should quietly disappear or just figure out your own. And let's not forget about the emotional and financial weight this adds to your life. If you're the main provider, still have financial responsibility, whether it's kids in college, mortgage, or aging parents, you don't have the luxury of just figuring out. That stakes are high. You need income, but the opportunities that actually match your experience level, they're rare. So what happens? You start considering jobs that are still below your skill list. You start thinking about roles you would never accept a decade ago, but now you just have need stability. And the worst part is, even those roles might reject you because they assume you leave once something better comes along. Now, here's something people really don't say about it. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel betrayed by a system that told you hard work pays off, that loyalty matters, and that your experience would always be your strength. But now it feels like those rules only applied when you are younger. Now you're in this weird space where you're not odd, but the world treats you like you are irrelevant, and while everyone is hyping up the younger generation for starting business and freelancing, you're sitting there wondering if the ship has already sailed for you. But here's what I need you to hear. You're not too late. It's just that no one has prepared you for this stage of the game. You've been taught to work hard, stay at a company, be loyal, and you did it. You are successful under the old system. The game has changed, not you. The mindset now has shifted. Instead of waiting to be picked, now it's about positioning up yourself. That might learning new skills, yes, but it also means learning how to sell your experience as strength, not as burden. This is also the moment you might need to step into something you've been putting off. Maybe it's time to explore freelance work, consulting, mentorship, or even just turning your knowledge into small business. You have decades of lived experience that no 25-year-old can replicate. The world may not reward it in the same way it is used to be, but that doesn't mean it's not valuable. Maybe the jobs are not showing up because it's time for you to create one. That doesn't have to be the end of your professional journey. It could be the shift you didn't know you need. If you're in your late 40s or 50s in job hunting right now, just know you're not alone. Thousands of people are going through the same thing quietly, afraid to talk about it because society shames aging. But I promise you, your worth is not tied to rejection emails or job offers. You have value, you have wisdom, you have survived decade of change. You can do it again. The world just has caught up to how powerful people like you are. If this video helped you feel seen, leave a comment below. Tell us why you are in a job search. Let me make this space where age is not just disadvantage but badge of honor. If no one else has told you today, you're doing great. You're not blind, you're just in transition. In transitions are hard, but they're also lead to the most powerful breakthroughs going on. You got this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and be honest with the conversation. Kindly leave a comment for us. Until next time, bye.